Hi, good morning everybody. Today I'm going to be changing the oil on my 2018 Toyota Highlander. It's going to be a short video because it's pretty standard, but I figured somebody might need some help with this because the filter is a little tricky. It's not your standard filter that you normally use on other vehicles. The filter and obviously the drain plug is below the car, underneath the car on the passenger side. I'm going to jack it up a little bit on this side just to give myself enough room for me to get under it. Doesn't have to come off the ground completely. So let's get started. Alright, so obviously what you're going to need for the oil change is the filter. This is the filter from Toyota, and that's the number there in case you're looking to order one. Like I said, I'll show you how to take out the filter. In this case with Toyota, first you got to drain the filter before you take it out. And then to take out the filter housing, you will definitely need this tool. I bought this on Amazon, I think, and you just got to make sure you get the right size that fits your vehicle. And I'm using Mobile. The oil that's recommended is 0W20. I'm using Mobile 1. And you can pick any brand you want. From what I've heard is that the Toyota oil that you buy from Toyota directly, technically all it is, it's a Mobile 1. They just throw the label on it. So let's get going. Oh, by the way, the amount of oil that the engine requires is 5.8 quarts according to the manual. So I got 6 quarts here. So I'm just gonna deduct a little bit from the full quart to bring it down to 5.8 quarts. So let's get started. Hi everybody, I got the socket here. By the way, I failed to mention that the socket is a 14mm socket that you're gonna need for the drain plug. Got the drain pan here, so let's get started. And then we'll take it from there step by step. There you go. You got that loose. Bring the drip pan in there. Now we're gonna wait for the oil to completely drain, and then we'll move on to the filter right here. Alright, so now that it's been drained completely, you're gonna put the nut back. However, don't make sure you put the washer on the nut. Washer usually comes in the filter box. When you get the filter, it's inside there. Make sure you put it on. When I took mine out, it didn't have it on. I don't know what happened. Maybe I forgot the last time, but it's very important that you put the washer. So we're gonna tighten this up now. The specs for this is 30 foot-pounds of torque. Honestly, in my case, I'm just gonna do it with my hand. I kind of have a feel for what the torques are. Obviously, I'm not going to be exact, but it's advisable that you do the 30 foot-pound torque. So let's do that right now. I mean, that's 30 pounds right there. It's a good snug fit. You don't want to over tighten it and crack the pan or break the bolt in it, then that's a big problem. You just want to make sure it's snug. Now let's move on to the filter. So basically you got this cover here that you need to remove first, and I'll show you the part that gets plugged in there with the filter in order for you to drain out the filter. Then once the filter has drained out, you got to remove the housing with that special tool that I just showed you at the beginning, which you will see again. So the way you take this out is you take your 3/8 wrench and you put the tip in there. Let me just put it on. Put the tip in there. That's it. And now you break that loose. There you go. So within the box, you'll find this tip. It's plastic tip. Basically what you do is you push this up and that discharges the oil from inside. There you go. So you leave that in there until it completely is drained out. It won't be fully drained out, to be honest with you, because even when you take out the housing, you're gonna have to be a little careful. Oil is always there. So just take your time. You wait for this to stop dripping, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right, now that it's stopped draining, you remove this plastic tab. Now you get the tool. Did I mention earlier that you will have to purchase separately? I got this from Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Put this in there. Just kind of make sure that you get it in the right spot. So basically there's a few tabs in there and you want to get those tabs to lock into this notches here. All right, now that that's there, again, take your wrench, put it in there, and just break it loose. There you go. Once you get it to a point where it's completely loose, just use your hand. It's much easier. Take it out. And that's the filter. Now let's go change it. Alright, so now we're going to change the filter. Take out the filter. This is the new one. And these are the rings, the O-rings that come with it. So you pull out the old filter. I'll give the inside a good cleanup. Suck as much as you can of that oil that's left in there. We're going to remove this O-ring. Now, one thing I want to show you. The O-ring goes not all the way at the bottom. It goes on this line right here. One line above the bottom rim. Best way to take this out is get one of these tools here, or even a flat screwdriver, and just pull it out. So again, you're not going all the way against the rim here. You're going in this second row here, second line. Get it in there all around. There you go. Make sure it's sitting in place. All good. Now you take the new filter. There is no up or down. Either way, it's fine. Give it a good push until you hear the click, which you just heard. So this now is good to go. So what I'm going to do is, you see the tool that we used to take the housing out is still there. You could take it out and push it back in, but it's pretty tight right now. So I'm going to use it again to put it back in and tighten it in place. So let's go back and put this thing in place. All right, so now I'm back. We're going to screw back on the housing. Make sure you align it properly with the threads. And keep pushing with your hand until it becomes too much for your hand. Then you're going to grab the wrench. Now I looked at the manual to see if there's any torque specs for this. There wasn't any. So I'm going to go with the same logic. Just make it tight enough where you think it's not going to leak, but at the same time you don't want this thing cracking on you. If it does crack the housing, then it's not the end of the world. They sell these things on Amazon and eBay. Just got to find the right one for you. Making you're good to go. So we do the reverse now. and you're gonna feel it just comes to an instant stop. Give it a good nudge, and that's it. Good to go. Now, this is gonna be pretty hard to take out by hand. Just tap it a little bit. There you go. Wow, I was lucky. Thing landed right here. Didn't even go into the oil pan. Next thing we gotta do is put this cover back on. Same thing, thread it in place. Make sure the threads catch on properly. That's all there is to the oil change here. Obviously now we're gonna go to the top and fill it up. So good to go here. Give it a nice wipe down, so you don't think later on you got any leaks. And that's it. All right, now we're gonna begin to fill this up. Remove the cover here. Again, keep in mind we're gonna put 5.8 quarts. That's according to the specs. This is 5 quarts. Once you put the oil in there, obviously you want to check your dipstick or on the car a little bit. So you're gonna have to go a couple of times back and forth until you get the proper levels. Once you're done with that, take out the funnel, cover back on. It's good to go. So that's all there is to changing the fluid, oil I should say, to a 2018 Toyota Highlander. One very important thing I want to point out, please follow your state guidelines when it comes to discarding these fluids. Please don't just dump them anywhere. Follow the guidelines. Normally the big brand stores, they will take your oil back for recycling, so please recycle. With that said, I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you. Have a great one.